Is this... I forget what I was going to say. Hold on. I keep losing my train of thought. I'm driving me nuts. Like, I'll get an idea of, oh yeah, I want to say this, and then we'll keep talking. I completely lose them off.
You should talk to Joe Biden. He knows a lot about it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another discussion here at 3 Shades of Whatever. We have something a little crazy today. They seem to have found something extremely intriguing under the pyramids in Giza. Now, before we get into this, I do want to say that this came at kind of a crazy time because my whole life I was always a skeptic of everything. I was analytical of everything. It's just who I was. And a video I saw about a year ago twisted my mind in a weird way and got me thinking outside the box into different things. So I've been looking into a lot of ancient structures and things like that, things that can be seen and touched and whatever. And I've been on the pyramids a lot. And for this to come up now is just kind of bananas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So me and Greg have been having a lot of discussions about this.
Yeah, it is bananas, the whole thing. Everybody, there's a lot of mystery about the pyramids, you know. Everybody,
yeah.
You know, how were they built? What's under them? What's around them? What is it? What was it there for? Why? All this other stuff. There's a lot of mystery. And hopefully, you know, this technology, we're gonna be able to see a mapping of the whole thing. But we could get into it, you know.
Well, we're waiting.
And for those of you who don't know what's going on, is some scientists took something called SAR. It's a synthetic aperture radar that can scan the ground without invasive techniques that can harm whatever's there. They got these radar images from underneath the pyramid, which seem to show. Here, I'll bring up the image for everybody to see. So this is what we've seen so far. I mean, there's obviously more than one image of this, but this is what we got so far. And it's supposedly depicting 8 large cylinders going hundreds of meters into the ground. Like, there's a bunch of different numbers I've heard. The consistent number that I've heard is 648, but Greg has also come across some numbers as well that's in the 400s. But regardless, hundreds of meters, which is over 1,000 feet. If it's closer to 600, it's 2,000. Closer to 400, it's more like 1,300. Whatever. Regardless, into the bedrock, standing on top of speculated 80 by 80 square boxes that they don't know what's inside those either. Above it, they've also found, again, the way they found and mapped this part, I'll explain. They say they found 5 new king's chambers above these inside, and we're all talking about the pyramid of Khafre, not the large one, the next one down. The middle pyramid is what they scanned. And they found king's chambers, 5 of them positioned symmetrically around in the middle of the pyramid, right? And they did that by bouncing this same radar in the Great Pyramid of Giza, is the main king's chamber, and they mapped that to see if these match, and supposedly they do. This hasn't been peer reviewed. This is all kind of speculation and up in the air right now, but it looks to be rather valid. So I can't say it's true.
Don't quote me.
I'm just saying this is something this could change a lot in the way we look at the history of our world.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this synthetic aperture radar, Doppler tomography technology. What I found, the source that I found from this abstract, because apparently there's the Khafre project, which is the name of the pyramid, has released an abstract, and it said it was roughly 400 meters, which is 1,312 feet, roughly a little bit shorter than the Empire State Building. Now, those numbers could change. I have no idea. It seems like,
regardless, it's crazy big. Yeah, crazy big, bigger than the pyramid itself.
Yeah, and you know, the cool thing about it is you don't need to be on site to do this. This technology is basically doing it from a satellite in space. So you don't need a permit. You don't need to be on access. So as far as my bias is concerned, I would like this to be real. I would like it to work 100%, because then we could map out a lot of things that are underground. You know, apparently though they're not finished their work. They're going to scan the whole area. This is just under the one pyramid. They're going to scan basically a 2-kilometer area around the pyramids and come up with a full presentation. But this particular, what we have right now is we only have an abstract to what they've done, which is a summary of what they've done. That's all they released. So,
correct.
My whole thing is, again, I already said my bias. I want it to be real. What I want to see, or this is what has to be seen technically to really verify it, is we want to see it get peer-reviewed and verified in multiple ways, in a lot of ways. Like, for instance, let's get it verified where you're looking at other areas. You have like a control group where you're looking underground and you know it's underground, maybe 1,000 feet or whatever. It has to be compared to something else that's comparable just to verify it. That doesn't mean I don't believe this image.
Well, is there something comparable?
There might not be. There could be maybe. I don't know. So that's a good question, right? So how are they going to verify it? I just want to caution everybody to jump into insane conclusions. Like when I look at that image, that looks like something. Like I don't think it's not something.
It has to be something. Like the point I made to you, Greg, is for me, it's too consistent in what they scanned to just be like nothing. You know what I mean? Like these whatever it is, there's shapes down there. There's something down there that we're seeing that's obviously symmetrical in ways. What it is exactly, I don't know, and I don't know if they know. I mean, they probably have I'm sure they have a way better idea than what I do. But I do like theorizing a little bit on if this is something to what they're saying. If it say it's exactly what they're saying. What they're saying it is, like when they did the 3D map. I don't know if the actual people who found it did this. I doubt it. But somebody
did it.
And this is going around everywhere. Okay, this is going around everywhere. This is a 3D map of what they say they saw, right? So you got the 5 kings chambers right there on the top left. You see,
which is inside the pyramid.
It's like number 8,
right? Which is inside.
Correct. It's in that's the ground floor of the pyramid, right? Then you have like under it. If you look, you have that line. That's the base, and then you have. If you look at the next picture down, you have all the way to the right what looks to be some sort of tuning fork type thing that has again something connecting that's the same color. I don't know if these are like material colorings or just to see it better. I don't know. I don't know. But it connects to these 8 cylindrical things that are going insanely far into the bedrock with this spiral going down it that they're, again, the speculation saying that they don't know whether it's a staircase, if it's tubing, they don't know. And obviously, but they're calling these things wells because supposedly it's showing that they're hollow. And at the bottom, you see where they have these boxes that are 80 yards by 80 yards and hollow. It looks like they're just outlines of cubes.
80 meters, but yeah, it's almost the same thing.
What did I say? Yeah. Yards? Yeah, sorry. I know. I'm American. My bad. But it is.
Don't you say anything about America. I'll put a tariff on you. Never.
Yeah, okay. But I'm sorry. I am American, but the metric system is far superior.
Well, yeah, that's what science uses and everything, you know.
But it's neither here nor there. But to finish what I'm saying is, if this is all real, we don't know what the material is. If that's metal, that's way beyond anything that we're known to be capable of doing then. Not to mention the drilling of these holes. You know, the current way that is explained through current archaeology is saying that we used these, like, bow and arrow with a string, right? And somebody's holding this copper tube and they put sand around it and then they back and forth and use the friction of the sand to cut through the granite.
To cut through granite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
But the ground isn't granite.
On this scale?
Is it?
No, but I agree. I'm not saying it's not necessarily, but it could be. We don't know what's directly under there. I'm not going to say it could be sandstone, it could be limestone, it could be many different things. But regardless, the size of these cylinders is too big for this shit. You know, back and forth. Oh, I'm gonna cut me some stone today, and I'm gonna go hundreds of meters into the ground. You know, and make these tubes with cylindrical spirals going down it. When I first saw it, to be honest, the first thing that I thought of was a Tesla coil. Not saying that's right. I'm just saying that's the first thing I thought of. And then his quote saying he found out the secrets to the pyramids and then he just created wireless energy. There's a lot of things that made me say that instantly in my brain, which is crazy. But also, if these are staircases like they're saying, or if they're not, regardless of if they are or not, that means these things are massive, right? Because if you even look at the size of them compared to the outline of the pyramid, those things are friggin' big.
Yeah, I mean,
what the hell? Why and why? What's the purpose?
Right.
What's the purpose?
It could be a foundational thing. because the pyramids are huge.
Possibly,
You know, but
I mean, dirt's pretty good foundation too, just to be honest.
Yeah, I could speculate on 100 different things. You know, and I don't think to me anything is in the realm of possibility. My whole thing is
just the effort.
Right. My whole thing is
involved.
my stance is more just I want to see it verified, and I want to see like more people working on this. Like for instance, say we verify it, and it's like, then what's the next step? How do we get down there and see physically what they are? There's a big difference between, a coil that conducts electricity that's made out of metal and just limestone or whatever it is that these things are made of. We got to go down there and see it. This is, just remember, this is a new science.
I'm totally speculating, everyone. Just so you know, I don't know shit. I'm speculating.
This is a new science. And what I'm seeing everybody go...
Totally past
what I'm seeing going online, a lot of people are like sharing this stuff and saying like this changes the course of human history. And that's fine. I'm not against that stance. However...
I do to a point.
I do think that that's jumping the gun. And what I mean by that is... we have to verify it. We don't know what they are. And also, we never knew how... they have theories, but we don't really know how they built the pyramids to begin with. We don't really know. Nope. We theorize we know how they cut the inner granite of the pyramids, but it's a wonder of the world.
They theorize.
It's a wonder of the world for a reason. It's because we wonder how the hell they did that. So when you add this extra layer of mystery... to me...
yeah, it takes it to a whole new level.
It takes it...
that's bars, if you know what I mean. Level.
Yeah, it takes it to a whole new level for sure. But to me, it just adds to the mystery of, like, how the hell did we do this? Does that mean I think it changes the course of human history? I think it changes what we think about what they were capable of. I don't...
well, it 100% does that. 100%.
I don't know if it changed. We already know. We already don't know fully how they built the pyramids. So to me, it's like...
exactly. I mean, there's a lot of things that...
to me, what changes the course of human history is if, like, we really find irrefutable evidence that the pyramid is a power plant, which is a theory, but, it
is a theory. It's Christopher Dunn's theory.
Right. If we find evidence of that, irrefutable evidence, and I know there's going to be people to comment and say there is irrefutable evidence. There isn't irrefutable evidence.
But there's
maybe some.
Not. And I would love there to be. There's not.
Me too. But... this just changes to...
this, though, opens the floodgates, man. Like, so, what I've been saying, like, I do like people, like, once I got into this journey of looking into the past, I found out about people like Graham Hancock, Billy Carson, Billy Carson, Randall Carlson, what the hell's his last name? Whatever.
I think it's Randall Carlson.
Heavyset guy with a beard.
Yeah, the big bearded guy.
Carlson, maybe so. And Billy Carson and Randall Carlson. That's why I'm thinking it's weird. But I don't necessarily believe in everything they say. I just like the idea of thinking alternatively than what we've been told forever and looking into different things like ancient texts and myths from around the world and legends from around the world and seeing how they connect in different ways. That's neither here nor there with this, but they led me down the path to open thinking. And I've been seeing things so different in the past year. It's weird. And I'm not saying I'm right, so don't take it that way. I've just never opened my mind to alternative thinking. And some of these structures, like if this is real, this goes into my theory. Like Grant Hancock likes to think that there was a civilization that died about 11,600 years ago. There's no evidence of that. That's my only issue with that theory. Like Greg has said, there's no preponderance of evidence there.
I could explain that,
I think he's on the right path.
I could explain.
Yeah, he's on the right path, in my opinion. I just think his timeline's messed up. Because I don't believe these pyramids were built 2,500 years ago. And I'm going to say this, 4,500 years ago. I'm going to say this fully. If this is real... it wasn't done then. I don't know what the hell could have done it, how the humans could have done it, whatever. That blows my mind to past places that I can even comprehend. Because again, the size of these cylinders alone, going that far into the bedrock, if anybody's ever done construction, you know a little bit about how hard that could really be, especially with the tools that were known for them to use at the time. So my opinion has always been, we have lost a technology that we don't understand. Like, just in the pyramids itself, that this is what I always based it on. The pyramids itself. How many people really know that every block on the pyramid is shaped different? There are no two alike. They're like a fingerprint. Every block was cut to fit the block next to it. The amount of skill that it takes to do that is insane. Insane.
Well, I want
to say, you know, oh, we messed up on this one. Give me another one. Cut that one right this time. No, a little off the right. They don't do, I mean, that sounds nuts.
Yeah, my position is not much different than yours. The only thing that I differ, if I had to choose a hypothesis, I wouldn't say that, like, if this is as big as it is, that it wasn't done 4,500 years ago. First of all, I don't even know for sure if it was done 4,500 years ago or not, but I wouldn't rule it out. I would just say my position would be we just don't know how they did it. That's just my position.
We don't know, but I've always thought they were older than that anyway.
Now,
I told you that. I don't think that they're that old.
If you can, we should pull up the other picture. Now, I want to go into a little bit of a thing that I want to just kind of go into. So here's the thing. Now that this has happened, everybody is jumping to conclusions. You know, a friend of mine shared this picture and said, and look, I'm not saying my mind isn't open. My mind is open, okay? It
ain't that. I'm sorry. As much as it would be awesome, it's
right.
not. It's
and
not
I
that.
do.
This ain't Stargate.
And I do believe, and this is, I could be wrong, and people could tell me if I'm wrong. That's what a discussion is. Anyway.
Correct. I would love to get more information. If anybody has good stuff, let me know. If they have bad stuff, let me know. I don't care. I want to know it all.
I do believe the advent of Graham Hancock's popularity has brought this theory about a lost civilization, and that very quickly pictures like this are shared because we find these things under the pyramid and we say, oh, this is the power plant thing. This is this because there really is this lost civilization. And here is my issue. And again, I could be wrong.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
But here's my issue with the whole lost civilization thing. He states that in the Younger Dryas, there was this cataclysmic event that wiped out an advanced civilization. Now, when you actually go look at the evidence that we have gathered, and you could say it's not accurate evidence, but from the preponderance of evidence around the world it's gathered is our sea levels rose 20 meters over a 500-year period, which is averages about 4 centimeters a year. I could be off about those numbers. That's fine. I do believe that cataclysmic events could have happened in pockets around the world. For instance, I think a large amount of humans could have died or animals could have died in certain areas of the world that were more affected than others. But when you look at archaeological evidence, places in like Europe and Africa, life actually flourished. Technology actually flourished. Agriculture flourished at the time of the Younger Dryas. So my only argument is, if there was such an advanced civilization that built a spaceship type pyramid with power grids and all that other stuff, how did they get wiped out during the Younger Dryas? Unless they would have literally had to have lived in a small pocket area. Then you can make the argument, if they did live in a small pocket area, well, how advanced could they possibly have been? I don't rule out.
These are all good discussions.
I don't rule out a possibility of an advanced civilization. I just rule out.
I think his timeline's wrong, though. I think if there was one, it was much longer.
Correct.
ago.
I just think that if it was 10,000, 11,000, 12,000 years ago, I truly believe we would have much more evidence of it. It could have happened before that. I just don't believe it happened during the Younger Dryas. So Graham Hancock could be correct. I just don't think it happened during the Younger Dryas. So I do think that fuels a lot of this stuff that people say. But I'm still open-minded. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying I'm just like Bill. I'm just like a lot of people. I want things to be true, you know? And then I do research on it, and then I find things, and I go, so that's just my...
But like I said, I think what I like about Graham himself... First of all, the dude just seems like such a nice guy. You know what I mean? Everything I've watched of him, he just seems like a really nice guy. So I appreciate that. He doesn't come out like point his finger, say, F you, I'm right. He's not really that guy. He just likes to theorize. And he'll straight up tell you he's not an architect, I'm an idiot, an archaeologist or a scientist. He's just a journalist. And I am neither any of those three. And I'm still going to hypothesize because I like to think. And things about it are weird all around. I mean, so many things about the past, like the symmetry and the structures of the statues, the pottery. There are so many just giant questions that we have about our own history that make me nuts. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna. I don't want to get it. We'll do these. If you guys want to keep saying things like that, let us know. If you have more mysteries of the world that you'd like us to touch on, I would love to, because I truly love this stuff. But,
so is this picture fact or fugazi?
Do you think this story is fact, or is it going to come out as fugazi? We got a real deal. We got the genuine article. We got some BS. What do you think? Do you think this? And you can also theorize. I don't mind theories. Throw me anything you want, because I love reading that stuff, man.
And also,
but I have come up with so many theories.
And also, what do you need to see to fully believe it? Like I said, I believe that these images are onto something. I think this is a budding technology. It's very exciting. And like I said, my bias is I want it to be very accurate. I want it to be on. But just because we have these images, what burden of proof do we need? For instance, does it need to be excavation? Does it need to be cross-reference between different sites? Because, like, for instance, they're saying it's density differences between, does the pyramid itself change the density of certain areas under it in a uniform pattern that all of a sudden it creates this? We don't know. We have to verify it.
We don't know.
I believe it is something. But that's my stance. I do.
Yeah, well, it definitely is something. I don't for a second believe that a peer review is going to come out like, oh, it's nothing, they were completely wrong. And if they do that, in my opinion, will be 100% fugazi. The thing is, I think the next thing to do for proof after this, if they peer review this and everybody comes out and says, oh, it's definitely real, we need to look more into it, which I truly believe is going to happen. There's no way they can't look more into this. They can't. So, when they do that, if this was built, there was a way in. So that's the next thing, finding the way in. And whether you're able to put somebody in there, send a machinery with camera, something in there to scan it. And I mean, we have even better radar to, like, if we can get in there, even just a couple millimeters of a hole, we could send LiDAR in there. You send LiDAR in there, it'll map the whole damn thing.
It would be amazing. It would be amazing.
So these are the things that I want to see. That's what would help me, okay? That's what would... Again, I do want it to be real. I do believe it to be real. Do I know that for a fact? No. These are just my feelings.
And then if it is real, what are the different options they are? You know what I mean? Like, correct. Is it a foundation? Is it a power supply? Is it a staircase?
It depends on what it's made out of.
Is it a staircase to get down to these underground tombs? What do you think?
I mean, if you want me to go for the end, I'm going to go into a little bit of a crazy theory. If you ever listen to Billy Carson, he loves to talk about Thoth and the Emerald tablets. And on those tablets, supposedly, it said that there was an archive of the knowledge of the ancients underneath the pyramids. And for them to just miraculously find this is kind of crazy. But it doesn't look like it's an archive room. I'm just saying, just the coincidence of there being something under it after that's been said by Billy Carson for 20, 30 years, that's kind of crazy.
It does feed into that.
But I'm not going to go deep into that because I don't know. So
that's where I think people are going with this. I think people are going with this. This could be that, the F-sharp.
It could be anything, to be honest. You want to be real? It could be anything. It could be tuned to the earth. It could be air shafts. It could be nothing.
The question is,
nobody wants to go there.
What do people who are watching it, what do you think it is? What do you do when you
No matter what it is, it's super intriguing. And for this to come out now, when I'm so deep into studying this shit, it's literally perfect timing for me. So if you want to have some fun with the journey on this one, we're going to keep talking about this one as all the information comes out.
Fact or fugazi? I think...
Fact or fugazi? What do you think?
I do think if these things have anything to do with corrupt Nancy Pelosi, I think it's all fugazi, no matter what.